So does that justify everything that you do?
Excuse me, let me tell you something. What do you think they were doing it for? Because they were trying to save us from poverty? No, they did it because they needed us. It's honor and family and loyalty. And some of us wanted a piece of the action. Now, we weren't educated like the Americans, but we had the balls to take what we wanted.
Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another live edition of On The Go right here on Driving to the Top Productions. And I'm your host, Big Hoss. And yes, I'm bringing the sauce for you guys. What's up, everybody? We got another 2 shows a week I'm doing today, and I'm closing out the end of the month with one today. It is September 30th, 2025. Hope y'all enjoying y'all a wonderful Tuesday. As we go into a new month tomorrow, October, man, we've been waiting for that. Before I get any further, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can find me at Big Hoss 337 on X. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and of course, this show On The Go you can find on X and Instagram at onthego_TXLA. And lastly, Driving to the Top Productions, you can find everywhere as well on X, Driving to the Top. Subscribe to them on YouTube, follow them on Facebook and Instagram as well. This show, of course, is presented by POGGERS, the official vitamin supplement of On The Go. Go to poggers.shop, tell them Big Hoss sent you, and that's the promo code right there, OTG, to get 10% off of your order. POGGERS, the official vitamin supplement of On The Go. Man, I know you guys are ready for October. October is a lot. October means more football, cooler weather, spooky season, MLB Playoffs, the World Series, the Fall Classic itself happens. We're also getting the return of the NBA and the return of the NHL coming in October. I know you guys are ready for that. I know the NBA tip-off is October 21st. I can't wait. I got it marked out on the calendar. Remember back in the day, they said the NHL hockey would start right after basketball? No, they're starting first. I'm thinking like October 27th or something. The NHL was going to kick off their season. No, it kicks off a week from today. October 7th is the return of the NHL for all the hockey fans out there. So we got a packed house for you tonight. We got a great show. And I thought I want to start off on a good note. So we're going to go ahead and kick things off in H-Town. Let's go ahead and take this show and kick it off in the 713. Let's go. Well, welcome to the land where it just don't stop. Trunks pop, tops drops in the front end hot. I got to start off on a high note because there's only one team right now that's keeping this city on its back, and that is U of H, baby. The Houston Cougars, they had a Friday night showdown with Oregon State, and what a game it was. This one went into overtime. The Cougars win 27-24 over Oregon State. They are 4-0 for the first time since 2016, and they're still 1-0 in the Big 12. This was a non-conference matchup, by the way. Let's look at some numbers from this great matchup. They had 17 first downs, 354 total yards, 270 passing, 84 rushing total. Connor Wegman, the man, the former A&M Aggie. We always say, whose house? Coog's house? Well, today's topic, today's name of this episode is whose house? Connor's house. Connor Wegman is killing it for the Cougars. He went 20 for 36 in passing. He did have 2 touchdown passes that game to Stephon Johnson for 27 yards and Tanner Kazoil for 50 yards. Now, he did throw an interception, but it's okay. But in rushing, I don't know how you had 6 carries for -1 yard, but still got a rushing touchdown. I'm trying to figure that part out. Because I watched some of this game because it was a Friday night game. I was traveling back from our high school game, which shout out Lake Arthur Tigers, 4-0, first time since 2013, and it's homecoming week, so I'm going to be repping my LA Tiger spirit. Got a big game Friday, trying to go 5-0 for the first time since 2011, so go Tigers. All shout out to all the Lake Arthur folks watching. But yeah, I was listening to majority of this game coming home from our football game, and when I got home, I caught the rest of the fourth quarter, and I saw this go into overtime, and I was up till about 1 o'clock in the morning watching this game when I had to be up at 6:30 for nephew and godchild soccer game that morning. This was a hell of a game. What else? Dean Connors, though, led in rushing. He had 17 carries for 53 yards. Amir Thomas led in receiving. He had 6 catches for 104 receiving yards, where Tana Kazoyo had 6 catches for 86 and a touchdown. Stephon Johnson had 2 carries for 44 yards and a touchdown in this matchup. Sion Fatu led on the defense. He had 15 total tackles with 7 solo. Defense alone, 104 total tackles, 38 solo, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 sack, courtesy of Brendan Mack and Corey Platt Jr. This team looked fantastic. And they go back into conference play this Saturday. They're back at home at TDECU or the Cage. And it's that Love You Blue night because Houston is rocking this bad luck. I cannot wait. I love the Love You Blue support. Middle finger to the Tennessee Titans, because if you're going to let Rice do it, but can't let us do it. They're wearing the blues, and I've mentioned it back during the offseason in the summer. I absolutely love the helmet. The Houston blue, I call it the Oiler blue, outlined in the red. I love it. I love every bit of it. It gives you that Houston Oiler vibe. That's what they're wearing this Saturday against Texas Tech. Red Raiders are coming in. Number 12 team in the country, by the way. They are also undefeated, and the Red Raiders are coming off a bye week. This is going to be a big game for the Cougars. 36 total meeting. But how about this? Houston leads this series, 18 wins, 16 losses, and a tie against the Red Raiders. Tech did win the last 6 meetings between the two, but the last time Houston beat Texas Tech, let's go back to 2009. And when I'm talking about, we're going to go way back. The last time the Cougars beat the Red Raiders, a familiar face by the name of Michael Crabtree was still playing college football at Texas Tech. Houston upsetted the Red Raiders 29-28, and it wasn't long after that. One of my favorite games I saw on a Halloween night in Lubbock. Texas Tech upsetted the number 1 team in the country, the Texas Longhorns, that same season. So that was a little bounce back for the Red Raiders. I'll never forget that. And you want to talk about field rushing? That was one of my favorite field rushes I ever saw until we'll talk about a couple of other field rushes we've saw later this season. So Texas Tech coming in this game undefeated, just like the Cougars. It's a battle of unbeatens. Texas Tech's also coming off a bye week. So here's a couple key players to watch out for on this one. You got quarterback Bahirin Morton. So far this season, he went over the 1,000-yard mark, over 1,000 yards in passing. 1,065 is the number. He's already thrown 11 touchdown passes this season and only 3 interceptions. Cameron Dickey leads in rushing for the Red Raiders. He's so far had 50 carries for 232 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns this season. Coy Eakin leads in receiving, 14 catches and 260 yards and 3 touchdowns this season for Coy. On the defense, Jacob Rodriguez at linebacker leads with 11 solo tackles, 17 assists, and 28 total tackles, while Bryce Pollock, defensive back, has a total of 3 interceptions this season for the Red Raiders. So this ain't going to be an easy matchup. This is going to be competitive, and they have been on a roll, and I have not had nothing negative to say about this team all season long. They have been kicking ass, but why do I feel we probably got a loss coming? Because Texas Tech ain't going to be no joke. I'm just hoping that UH can keep it close, whether they pull the upset off and win. Because I'm going to say this right now. If Houston upsets Texas Tech, we got another rush field coming soon at TDCU. But it hurts to say, but I did not have this team going undefeated, a perfect season. And if they're going to end up losing a game, taking a first loss, it will probably be this game. Because at least I didn't have this as their first loss. You want to go back to when I did my preview of this football team in the summer? I actually had I think I called was it Colorado? I had their first loss, or I don't know. I said this would have been their second loss, but the tables have turned. They're 4-0 right now, but I think this is going to be a loss for them. But I'm hoping it's not a blowout. I'm hoping they can hang on and make it close. I can see this being a high-scoring game, like let's say, 35-31 Texas Tech win, I'll say. So if the Cougars lose this game, I won't be disappointed. I'm hoping they can hang in there. Hang in there, and because, yeah, it's a Big 12 matchup, but I don't see it really affecting them that much. It's not like this will be their second loss. I mean, they did beat Colorado early in the season. And I think after Texas Tech, I think their conference schedule is going to be a little, I'm not going to say a little simple, but at least I can see more wins coming when we get into the month of October, to be honest with you. I'm going to pull their schedule back up. Let's see who they got. Majority of the month of October following Texas Tech. So after Tech, they go to Oklahoma State. That's a win. They host Arizona, who is 3-1, but I see this as a win. They go to Arizona State October 25th. Possibly will be a loss. That's all they got for the month of October. Then they got West Virginia at home. That's a guaranteed win. They go to UCF. Probably going to be a loss. TCU at home. Probably a loss, but could be a win. And they close out their Big 12 play with Baylor November 29th. Another one that could go either way. So, if they lose this game to Tech, it's not really going to affect them to try and get maybe a potential run to go to the Big 12 championship, shock everybody. Because if you see the Big 12 standings, Iowa State is I think on top of the Big 12 right now, which I have them as a contender for the Big 12 championship. But we'll see from there. I don't even right now it's the top three. It's Iowa State, Arizona State, and BYU. That's the top three right now. Houston's only fourth in the Big 12 right now. So, that's not bad for the Cougars. One loss, they're over Texas Tech, so one loss probably wouldn't hurt them. But the only thing that's going to hurt is they don't play BYU or Iowa State this season. The only other one is Arizona State, so that would have to be a must-win for them. UCF is a tough team. They did lose one conference game I'm looking at, but they're playing in Orlando. They play tough at home in Orlando. So, that's why I had that as a loss. But we'll see when that time comes, when we get to those dates. But unfortunately, yeah, I do have Houston losing to Texas Tech, but I'm hoping they could kind of turn it around and it'll be a better game. But we'll see from there. But that's all I got. That's all I have for the Houston Cougars. I do have a couple more things I got to bring up Houston-wise. And it hurts to me that this is going to be one of a few teams I'm going to have to pick a bone with. And this will probably be the last time I'm going to be talking about this team for quite a while, unless something major happens during the offseason. But this team was just one game shy of getting into the playoffs. And yes, we're about to do some, probably be the last time I'm going to do some Astros talk for a while. But the curtain has closed for the 2025 season for the Houston Astros. This team was one game away from making another playoff appearance, but this will be the first time since 2016 the Houston Astros will miss the playoffs and not compete for a World Series. So I'm just going to get this out real quick. This is one of a few teams. I'm going to post this for the following right about now. This is how I feel about the Astros not making the playoffs.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here!
Have we seen the end of an era here? Because I think we are just coming off the golden years of the Houston Astros like we've never seen before. You go back to 2017, despite I'm throwing the cheating shit out the window. From 2017 to 2023, the Houston Astros have played not just in the playoffs, but they have made it to the pennant. They'll straight, like from 2017 all the way to 2023, they played for the pennant. That's a lot. That's 7 straight pennant trips. Yeah, and they've won 4 out of 7. I mean, that's good numbers. I mean, 2017, 2019, and 2022, they eliminated the Yankees in the pennant. 2018, they lost to the Red Sox. 2020, they lost to the Rays. 2021, they beat the Red Sox to go to the World Series. And then 2023, they lost the pennant to their in-state rivals, the Texas Rangers. But they did have 4 World Series appearances from 2017 to 2023. They won it in 2017 against the Dodgers in 7 games. 2019, they lost in 7 games to the Nationals. 2021, they lost in 6 games to the Braves. And then in 2022, they won it in 6 games against the Phillies. So they've won 2 out of 4, which that's still good numbers. Their overall World Series record is 2-3. Because remember, they also went to the World Series for the first time ever. They went 20 years ago. So we're coming to the 20-year anniversary of the Houston Astros making it to their first ever World Series. Unfortunately, we did not like that outcome. They got swept by the Chicago White Sox. But the Astros did it first. They were the first Texas team to make it to a World Series. They were the first to host a World Series game on Texas soil. And this could piss off the Rangers fans even more. They were the first Texas team to win it. Now, the only bragging the Rangers can have, they were the first to win a World Series game on Texas soil because, remember, when the Astros went in 05, they got swept. They never won a game. When the Rangers first went in 2011, they did win a game, and they also won one in Texas. So they were the first to do it, and they were the first Texas team to have back-to-back World Series appearances. They also went again in 2012, but they did not win the World Series. However, the Astros were also the first Texas team to appear back-to-back and end up winning one of them. They didn't win both. It would have been nice if they won both, but that's another thing they can brag about right there. But overall, I mean, this was not the season we hoped for. I feel like the injuries is what caused this team to be what they were supposed to be. I mean, a lot of people are going to brag on the bullpen, or they're going to brag on Espada. I mean, I know a lot of people want Espada gone. Who are you going to replace him with? Who would be available to replace Joe Espada if you want to get rid of the manager? I'm blaming more on all the injuries, especially without having Yordan Alvarez to close out the season. But, I mean, overall, the Astros finished the 2025 season, 87 wins and 75 losses. They did go above 500. 537, they actually went there. But if you want to talk about, like, overall how they've done in the season, especially when it comes to opponents, out of all the total matchups they've had, their home record was actually, you could say, average. They've won 46 games at home, lost 35 at home. Their road game they were not a good team on the road. They went 41-40 on the road this season. When it comes to like series and all that, especially, of all the series they've played, they've only swept 7 series. Out of all the total number of series they've had, they've only had a perfect sweep of 7, which that might sound good. To me, I feel like that's not that good. When it comes to opponents against like in the American League, they went 56-58 against the American League this season, which that's not too good. When you look at teams like, they went 5-8 against the A's, 4-3 against the Orioles, 2-4 against the Red Sox, 3-3 against the White Sox, 2-4 against the Guardians and the Detroit Tigers. They went 3-3 against the Royals, 8-5 against the Angels, 5-1 against the Twins, 3-3 against the Yankees, 5-8 against the Mariners, 3-4 against the Rays, 7-6 against the Rangers, and 4-2 against the Blue Jays. That puts them at 56-58. It's not good numbers. And majority of the season, like, they were in first place in their division until when they got to the month of June. They did drop to second place, which I'm actually going to get to that in a bit. Meanwhile, their record against the National League, I thought was a lot better. I felt like they played way better against the National League. They went 31-17 against the National League. They swept the Diamondbacks. They swept the Dodgers. I couldn't believe that shit. That might have been the best weekend ever. 4th of July weekend when they swept the Dodgers. Don't forget they also swept the Phillies. They've only played those teams 3 times, and they shut all three games out. The only team from the National League to ever shut out the Astros in series was the San Francisco Giants. They were 0-3 against the Giants this season, while they went 2-1 against teams like the Braves, the Cubs, the Reds, the Marlins, the Mets, the Pirates, and the Padres, and the Nationals. They went 2-1 against all those teams. They went 4-2 against the Rockies. They went 1-2 against the Brewers. And they also went 1-2 against the Cardinals. That put them at 31-17 against the National League. So I felt like they played pretty good against the National League. If you're going by months, March, April, they went 16-14. I felt like they played better. Like they always played better at home. They went 11-7 at home, while they went 5-7 on the road for the month of that short weekend of March and the whole month of April. May was kind of one of their worst months, because that put them down at second place. They went 15-13 in the month of May. They went 10-5 at home. Not bad. Better home record there. 5-8 on the road. But when June came, it's like a spark flew in them. When they dropped to second place in the division, June was their best month. They went 19-7 in the whole month of June. They've only lost 2 games at home. They played 13 games at home, and they went 11-2 at Daikin Park. That's probably their best record at home that season, while they did go 8-5 on the road. The month of July, they went 12-13. That was their worst record at home, was the month of July. They went 3-10 at Daikin Park, which that was the worst I've seen them at home this season. They went 9-3 on the road. That was probably their best record. It's like role reverse. When June, they dominated at home, average on the road, but when July came, they were shit at home, but dominated on the road. And then it just like went downhill by August. They went 13-15 in August, 6-6 at home, 7-9 on the road, and then they closed out the month of September, 12-13 overall in the month of September, 5-5 at home, and 7-8 on the road in the month of September. So that's the numbers I got right there. And like I said, they were just one game of trying to make the postseason. But that's about the final numbers I got on the 2025 Houston Astros season. It did not go the way we want. Yeah, we did get some call-ups back. We got Carlos Correa back. The season started off sadly without Alex Bregman going to the Boston Red Sox. And it was like I said, it was all these injuries. And the one that affected us the most had to been Yordan Alvarez. But I'm hoping we can improve better and get better when we get to 2026, because I love this team so much. I mean, I can't see this being the downfall of once was a great franchise. Like, I thought this was we were a dynasty at one point. Besides the New York Yankees, maybe back in the 40s or something. Name another team, especially in this generation or in this century, that had 7 straight pennant appearances. I don't think you can name one. Now, if you want to talk about in the history, yeah, you could throw in the New York Yankees as another team that did that shit. Especially when they only had a 10-league team back in in the 30s and the 40s and whatnot. But it sucks, but all good things must come to an end. But I don't see this being the downfall of the Houston Astros and they go into rebuilding mode. I feel like they're gonna improve and get better. I'm hoping when we get to 2026, they'll be a better team and we can get back into the playoffs and maybe get another pennant appearance or a World Series appearance and whatnot. Because, man, it was great to be an Astro fan during that time, despite all the shit talk we've gotten, especially with the whole cheating scandal bullshit from 2017. So as I close out that talk on the Houston Astros until possibly March of 2026, I thought I'd give out some final MLB division standings before we look at the playoff bracket to see how it goes. I'm mainly going to focus on the teams that got eliminated. I'm going to actually look at the teams that made it to the playoffs when I get to the bracket reveal and whatnot. So, like, meanwhile, American League East, it was Rays, Yankees, Red Sox. Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, Rays, and the Orioles. Rays in their season at 77 and 85. Orioles finish at 75 and 87. In the Central, it's Guardians, Tigers, Royals, Twins, and the White Sox. Royals in at 82 and 80. Twins in at 70 and 92. The White Sox 60 and 102. Second worst record in Major League Baseball. While in the West, it's like the Mariners are the only team that made it. So like Astros finish at 87 and 75. Rangers finish at 81 and 81. The A's finish at 76 and 86. And the Angels finish at 72 and 90. Meanwhile, the National League, with the Phillies being the only team that made it in the East, Mets finish at 83 and 79. Marlins finish at 79 and 83. Braves finish at 76 and 86. And the Nationals finish at 66 and 96. While in the NL Central, it's Brewers, Cubs, Reds, Cardinals, and the Pirates. Cardinals finish 78 and 84. Pirates finish at 71 and 91. And then finally, the NL West, it finishes with Dodgers, Padres, Giants, Diamondbacks, and the Rockies. Giants finish at 81 and 81. The Diamondbacks finish at 80 and 82. And the Rockies finish out dead last in the league. 43 wins, 119 losses. My God. So let's go ahead. I might keep up a little bit with the postseason, but let's take a look at how the playoffs look. I know the bracket has been out. I actually got it. I'm going to go ahead and share it with you guys. I'll give you kind of my predictions here. We'll start. As you can see, this is the postseason picture right here. I know the wild card just kicked off today, and it's going to go on till at least Thursday because there you see it, kind of like a cheat sheet. Wild card series is a best of 3. The divisional series will be a best of 5. And then from here on out, from the pennants to the World Series, it's a best of 7. Meanwhile, we'll start from the American League side. You start from the top. You got the Detroit Tigers taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Detroit going in as a 6th seed. They finished their regular season at 87 and 75. They're playing the Cleveland Guardians, who win their division and going at 88 and 74 in the regular season. Now, the winner of this will play the Seattle Mariners in the divisional round. Seattle wins the AL West for the first time in 24 years, and they are at 90 and 72. I'll make my predictions after I reveal these. Then we got the greatest rivalry in baseball. We already saw the outcome in the first game, but we got Red Sox, Yankees. Red Sox, well, I don't know if this was updated, but they currently have them now at 89 and 73. Was that before the win over the Yankees earlier today or after? And the Yankees currently sit at 94 and 68. And the winner of that game will play their division champ from their division, the number 1 overall seed in the American League, the Toronto Blue Jays, who won that division in the AL East and is currently 94 and 68. Same record as the Yankees. Meanwhile, in the National League, we got Cincinnati Reds taking on the LA Dodgers. Reds sit at 83 and 79. Dodgers win the NL West. They sit at 93 and 69. The winner plays the Phillies, who won the NL East. They sit at 96 and 66. And then finally, we got the San Diego Padres, who sit at 90 and 72, playing the Chicago Cubs, who are 92 and 70. And the winner will play the number 1 overall seed in MLB, not just in the National League, in all of MLB. Best record in the league right now, 97 and 65, the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, I see 3 teams on here that have a chance to win their first championship. The Seattle Mariners, the San Diego Padres, and the Milwaukee Brewers, the only 3 teams in the playoffs to never win a World Series. And Seattle's the only team to have never been to a World Series. You look at all the other teams, the Dodgers are the defending champs. Red Sox hasn't won one since 2018. Cubs hasn't won one since 2016. Yankees haven't won one since 2009. Phillies 2008. Blue Jays 1993. The Reds 1990. The Tigers 1984. And the Cleveland Guardians 1948, when they were still the Cleveland Indians. That's how long it's been for Cleveland. Well, meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and make some, how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go with predictions. I'm going to predict who wins these like best of three first. I know we got one more game playing right now. The Reds and the Dodgers are currently playing the last first round matchup. So Tigers did take game 1, 2-1. I actually have the Tigers winning this series. I think this one will go to 3 games. I got the Tigers in 3. Yankees, Red Sox. Red Sox took game 1. Final score was 3-1. This is the biggest rivalry in baseball. This is going to draw money. This is going to go 3 games. So you might as well give the Yankees game 2. They're going to make sure this one is a game 3. And I hope, for God's sakes, I hope the Red Sox take out the Yankees. I'm not the biggest fan of them. Meanwhile, Reds, Dodgers. Dodgers are up 8-0, top of the 7th as of right now. This might be the only series I see a sweep. I got the Dodgers winning this in 2. They're going to sweep the Reds. And then finally, Padres and the Cubs. Cubs took game 1, 3-1. This is another series I see going 3 games. I'm going to go with the Padres winning this in 3 games to play the Brewers. So with that being said, if we get Tigers, Mariners, Seattle might be the only team I see get losing with a first round bye. I got the Tigers moving on over the Mariners, while I'd have the Blue Jays beat the Red Sox, the Brewers beat the Padres, and the Phillies beat the Dodgers. Because something about Seattle, they always dominate the regular season, but when they get to the postseason, it's like they choke. So that being said, I'd have the Tigers and the Blue Jays in the American League pennant, Brewers and the Phillies in the National League pennant. I think it's going to be a battle of number ones. So I got the Blue Jays and the Brewers in the World Series. And with that being said, I want to see a team that never won it. I'm going to have to go with the best team in baseball. I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Brewers to win the World Series and win their first championship. Besides, who don't love beer, by the way? Beer's amazing. So that's what I got for my MLB prediction. But I'll keep you guys posted with the postseason throughout the show. Now, I'm not going to say much. All I'm just going to reveal is a score right here. The Houston Texans did get their first win of the season over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Finally, I got a team in the NFL that finally won an NFL game. 1-2 Boogie and Shorty George.
Give me 1-2 Boogie and Shorty George. Shorty George.
Oh, it's nice to see a team in the win column. But I'm going to do all the rest of that talk tomorrow night because I'm doing another preview this week. I'm going to do it tomorrow night. Early start time, 7:30. I'm going to be previewing the Houston Texans taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Be sure to check it out. I'm going to have a former member of Driving to the Top Productions. He's a Baltimore Ravens expert himself. I know he's got his own show. I want to make sure I get this right so I don't get this wrong. But shout out to Matt Trigger. He's got his own. I know he's got his own podcast. He talks about the Baltimore Ravens and everything. So be on the lookout tomorrow night. I got old Matt Trigger coming on. We're going to talk Texans, Ravens. That's going to happen this Sunday in Baltimore. You don't want to miss that. But all I'm going to say is they got their first win of the season. They shut out the Tennessee. Wait, what's the score right here? I didn't update this. Holy shit. What was I thinking? Oops. This is why I don't prepare for shit too much. How did I not prepare for this? Let me fix that real quick. No, they lost to the Jags last week. Oh, the week before that. This previous week, there you go. They shut out the Tennessee Titans 26-0. First win of the season. They're now 1-3, 1-1 in the AFC South. You'll hear the rest of it tomorrow. Be sure to tune in if you want to hear my talk on the Houston Texans winning over the Titans. So, yeah, little mistake. Sorry about the mistake, but hey, I got it fixed. So, like I said, be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a fun one. Can't wait to have Matt on. Reminder, early start time. I'm going to go live at 7:30 Central. We're going to preview that. Plus, I'm also going to do my predictions for the NFL with Matt. We're going to recap week 4 of the NFL and predict week 5 together. So you want to hear the rest of that talk? Now, I will talk Saints on here later because we're just talking Texans and the Ravens. But let me go ahead and take it to my neck of the woods because we're about to get out the Lone Star State. Let's go to my house. Let's take it to the 337. Now you're in my neck of the woods, and it sucks that I got to start off in my house on a bad note. The Magnies Cowboys drop another one. They got one. They started the season off hot, and now you lose 4 in a row. Now you lose to Stephen F. Austin, an important conference game, by the way. And by the way, this was on the road. You went on the road. I don't know how far Nacogdoches is from Lake Charles. I think it's about close to 3 hours. You go on the road, a very important conference game, and you get beat by the damn Lumberjacks.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here!
So you now lose 4 in a row. You're 1-4, now 0-1 in the Southland Conference. 303 total yards, 214 passing, 89 rushing. That's not going to cut that. Jake Strong, 21 for 34, 214 passing yards. He did throw 1 touchdown pass to Logan Malden for 26 yards. He did throw an interception, but Mr. Devin Lipple, I don't know what Coach Viatar was thinking, putting this guy in. He threw 2 passes, and both were incomplete, so he went 0 for 2 in his passes. Trevante Citizen led in rushing, 10 carries for 32 yards and a rushing touchdown. Logan Malden led in receiving, 6 catches for 57 yards and 1 touchdown. Unfortunately, I did not get no defensive numbers for this again. I don't know what the hell's up with not getting McNeese's defensive numbers. They couldn't have been that bad. Yeah, they gave up 34 points against Stephen F. Austin, but come on now. Well, it's going to get even tougher for the Cowboys. They return back home this Saturday at the Hole. They welcome in a very tough Southeastern team who, by the way, I got a preview of this team. I saw this team play LSU. Even though LSU blew them out at Tiger Stadium, they gave them a scary first quarter. They did get a win. They got there. They got a conference win. They beat, and I said they were going to expose this team. But it was a close game at one point. But Southeastern got the win. 45-31 over UT Rio Grande Valley. The Lions now sit at 3-2 of the season, and they're 1-0 in the conference. I've said these names before, and I'm going to throw these exact same names again whenever I preview this team against LSU. You better watch out for these exact same impact players. Quarterback Carson Camp now threw over 500 passing yards this season, 529 to be exact, 4 touchdown passes, and now 2 interceptions. Kyle Lowe leads in rushing for the Lions this season, 29 carries, 165 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Domingo, 12 catches, 168 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns this season. Linebacker KK Reno leads on the defense, 16 solo tackles, 22 assists, and 38 total tackles this season, while Blaine Delahousse has 1 interception this season for the Lions. Now, when it comes to this, I don't know if you want to consider this a rivalry, but McNeese leads this 21-19 against the Lions. This will be the 41st meeting. Southeastern has won the last 5. And they're probably going to make it 6 because I don't know what the fuck's up with this McNeese team, but they're about to now lose 5 in a row because I got the Lions probably blowing this team out of their own field. Like, I could maybe see them scoring 40-something points. I'm going to say like 48-21. I'll give the Cowboys 3 touchdowns, but they're going to get beat like 3 possessions at Navarre Stadium. My score, 48-21, Southeastern beats the McNeese Cowboys. However, as I jump on a good side here, let me just say, how about them Raging Cajuns? This might have been one of the best games I've watched on Saturday. They went into double overtime and got a big, important win. They beat Marshall 54-51. They now sit at 2-3 of the season, but they got 1-0 in the Sun Belt. Their first conference win. All that matters, they can now say they're 1-0 in the conference. This team had a little twist and turnaround here. They had 461 total yards, 197 passing, 264 rushing. But it's like, now, Daniel Beal, who started in this game, he went 7 for 15 and had 72 passing yards. That's not going to cut it, Daniel. But you put the backup in, Lunch Winfield, he had a much better game than Daniel Beal. I must have missed something here. I don't know if he got hurt or was he just horrible that they took him out? Lunch Winfield went 7 for 13, 125 passing yards, 2 touchdown passes, and these were good numbers. Charles Robinson for 45 yards and Dale Martin for 24 yards, where also Lunch Winfield had 13 carries for 129 yards, and he also had 2 rushing touchdowns himself. Some good numbers. He led in rushing. He led in passing and rushing in this game. That's the backup quarterback. I don't know. If I was the head coach for the Raging Cajuns, I would promote him to QB1. Besides, we could come up with some good ass jokes with that name. Like, or if this team were to lose like that, I can see the jokes like, don't forget to pack your lunch, or lunch is served. I can think of a bunch of lunch jokes when it comes to Lunch Winfield, good or bad, whether if it's for the Cajuns or for the opponent. But get ready for some magic in social media itself when it comes to Lunch Winfield. Who else in this game? Let's see. Zylan Perry had 14 carries for 75 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns himself. Charles Robinson led in receiving. He only had 2 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. Dale Martin had 2 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. Colin Jacob, 14 total tackles, 12 solo, and half a sack. He leads on the defense. While the defense alone, 76 total tackles, 62 solo, 3 sacks, and 7 tackles for a loss. But they looked way better with Lunch Winfield at quarterback. And now this team can get a little break because this is going to be one of many teams in the state that's going to have a bye this week. So, yes, the Raging Cajuns are going into a bye week with a win. Get all that rest, get the prep you need before you go back into conference play, because I think it's going to be James Madison they got next after their bye week on October 11th. They got to go to Harrisonburg to play a conference game there. So, good shout out to the Cajuns getting that win. They needed that. That was a hell of an ending. Hell of a game, too. Like, I was worried about them blowing it, but Lunch Winfield let the backup quarterback people let that team to a win. Like, I would love to go watch them play again down the road. I'm actually looking at going to, whether you want to call it Cajun Field or Our Lady of Lords Stadium. I'm looking at October 18th when they take on Southern Miss. That'd be a good one to go see. I got my eye on that one. All right, so that's all I got in the 337. Oh, man, I wish I had a drink on me because this might be the first time on this show I'm about to go into Tigerland angry. So without any further ado, let's hop back on I-10 and head eastbound to the 225. Let's go. All right, deep breaths for this one because LSU. Do I need to say more? Because you have it right here. This was a very important game, a big important rivalry game. It's the fucking Magnolia Bowl. And you lose 24-19 to Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here!
To be honest with you, I don't even know who to blame in this one. But it's like every time we take a loss, the entire Tiger fans get so toxic on social media. Everyone's blaming Garrett Nussmeier or everyone's blaming Brian Kelly. Why don't you blame the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator, or blame some of them receivers who can't catch, or blame that defense that can't even wrap up and make tackles? But they're mainly targeting Brian Kelly, number one. Two, they're targeting real hard is Garrett Nussmeier. This team had 254 total yards, 197 passing, 57 rushing. Garrett Nussmeier went 21 for 34. He did throw one touchdown to Nick Anderson for 7 yards, and he had an interception. Harlem Berry led in rushing, 7 carries for 22 yards and a touchdown. Xavier Thomas led in receiving, 3 catches for 63 yards. And Nick Anderson had 2 catches for 28 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Halsey on defense led with 13 total tackles and 9 solo. Whit Weeks, even though all eyes were on him with him and Lane Kiffin's daughter and shit, Whit Weeks had 11 total tackles, 5 solo, and he did have a fumble recovery. Defense alone had 82 total tackles, 42 solo, and 5 tackles for a loss. Plus, P.J. Woodland had an interception for 31 yards. This was our first loss of the season. They dropped to 4-1 of the season, and now they're 0-1 in the SEC. They dropped from 4 to 13 in the rankings. We got to fix something. Because I said, we get toxic when they lose a game. Because we're always used to this team being a dominant program, but something's a little off. We got to do better. And now this is another team that's going in a bye week before they head back to Tiger Stadium the following Saturday and get ready for Lenore Sellers in South Carolina, which we're going to get that matchup. He's no longer hurt. He's back playing on the field, so that's going to be worth watching. Garrett Nussmeier and Lenore Sellers, get them tickets now. It will be a Saturday night in Death Valley. They haven't confirmed a time yet. Depends what network covers it, but I know they said if ESPN gets it, it's a 6 p.m. kickoff. If ABC gets it, it's a 6:30 kickoff. Or if it goes to the SEC network, it will be a 7 p.m. kickoff. But either way, it will be a Saturday night in Death Valley when the Gamecocks come to town. But all I got to say is just quit fucking blaming Brian Kelly. Garrett Nussmeier, I mean, yeah, he had a sternum issue, but now it's the bye week. Let him get his rest. Let him get healed up so we can get back to doing what we do best. Because the way they were playing against Ole Miss, now I'm scared when we play Alabama. And look at the you look at their October schedule. 3 of their 4 opponents are ranked. Did I say 3? No, they only got 3 opponents. 2 of their 3 opponents are ranked teams. You got Vanderbilt, who's one of the hottest teams in the SEC right now, the Cinderella team. Then you got Texas A&M, which that one's going to scare me a lot now. Now that will be the hardest game to get, with A&M being ranked 6 in the country right now, which just still seems unusual right now. But LSU, y'all got some serious fucking issues to fix, because I cannot see this team losing to damn Gamecocks in Baton Rouge on a Saturday night. I could see it being a struggle win, but they need to fix something, because I can't sit with another damn loss with that. But that's about as quickest rant I had in Baton Rouge. But now let's go ahead and take this show to the Big Easy. Let's go to the 504. I said this team was going to bounce back, and they sure did. So, Tulane, you guys are back on top. You beat Tulsa 31-14. You now improved to 4-1 of the season, and now you're also 1-0 in your conference as well. Here's some numbers for the Green Wave. 438 total yards, 252 passing yards, 186 rushing. Jake Retzloff went 17 for 30, 242 yards. He also had, in rushing, he had 10 carries for 29 yards and a rushing touchdown. But he didn't lead in rushing. Javon Gordon led in rushing. He had 15 carries for 78 yards and 3 touchdowns. Even the backup, Brendan Sullivan, got a little bit of playing time. He completed half of his passes for 10 yards. Amari Hayes led in receiving. He had 4 catches for 89 yards. And my God, please don't hate me when I try to say this guy's name. Jake Kichinchu?
If one of y'all says some silly-ass name, this whole class is going to feel my wrath.
Anyhow, Jake led on defense with 7 total tackles and 3 solo, while the defense alone had 65 total tackles, 31 solo, 6 sacks, and 13 tackles for a loss. But Tulane's back where they are. It's like they never skipped a beat despite that loss to Ole Miss the week prior. Tulane is also another team going into a bye week. Like, wait till I get to around the boot. Wait till you hear all the teams in the state that got a bye. Besides but LSU, the Raging Cajuns, and Tulane are the only teams on this show that are got byes. But when that bye is over, I know they got a Thursday night matchup at home with East Carolina, a big important conference game at Yeoman Stadium. It's gonna be rocking. But yeah, Tulane, not skipping a beat, man. They're gonna keep this ball rolling. Before I get to some Saints talk, let's go ahead and talk around the boot. Let's see what else happened all around the state in college football and the number of bye weeks we got this coming Saturday. So I want to tally this so I don't screw this shit up. So far, UL, LSU, and Tulane all have byes. Teams I cover on this show. Louisiana Tech, coming off a 30-11 win at UTEP. They got a bye this week. So that's a 4th team that's got a bye. Their next game, they're also going to play Thursday night, October 9th, against Kennesaw State, who currently sit at 3-2. But the Bulldogs sit at 4-1, but they're also going in a bye with a win. UL Monroe, coming off a big important win. Man, UL Monroe's cooking up in Monroe, man. 28-16 win over Arkansas State at home. They're now 3-1 of the season. They're going to hit the road this Saturday, but it's going to be a tough one. They go to Northwestern, the Northwestern Wildcats of the Big Ten, a team that Tulane beat. But Tulane, I feel like, is a stronger team than UL Monroe. No disrespect to the Warhawks, but I feel like the Warhawks will probably drop this one over the Wildcats, and then they fall of the season. Nichols is coming off a 27-7 loss to Eastern Kentucky. They hit the road this Saturday. They go in the conference play. They're 1-4 right now. They go to Beaumont to take on Lamar. Lamar's sitting 3-1. This is going to be another win for the Lamar Cardinals because I got Lamar winning this one. Meanwhile, Northwestern State, they're coming off a bye week, but they got a game this Saturday, a big important one. It's a conference game at home, Turpin Stadium. Pack that house. They take on East Texas A&M, the Lions, who are 0-4. So I think Northwestern State's about to get their 2nd win of the season and improve to 2-3. Give me the Demons. Fork 'em, Demons. Let's go. Meanwhile, Grambling, coming off a heartbreaking loss in the Texas, the State Fair Classic. They fall to Prairie View A&M 28-13. They got a bye week 2 before they're back at home next Saturday against Texas Southern, but they currently sit at 3-2 of the season. And Southern coming off a 38-13 loss in the Boombox Classic against Jackson State. Guess what, folks? They also have a bye this week as well. They're 1-4. Their next game, they go to Daytona Beach next Saturday to take on Bethune-Cookman. So, yeah, that's 6 teams in the state of Louisiana. UL, LSU, Tulane, Louisiana Tech, Grambling, and Southern all got byes this week. 6 teams in the boot with a bye this week. And that's LSU's first of 2, by the way. So that does it for around the boot. Meanwhile, let me get to the Saints real quick. Now, oh, God, I didn't even update this shit either. God damn, Hoss. I need to get my shit together. All right. But I'm not going to shit talk this team too much. I did predict this as a loss. But they did hang on with this team, and they made it close. They ended up losing 31-19 to the Buffalo Bills. That now puts them at 0-4 of the season. But they put up a fight. 298 total yards, 109 passing, 189 rushing. Spencer Rattler went 18 for 27. He did throw a 1 touchdown pass to Chris Olave. By the way, I don't know what they were thinking here. I don't know if I must have missed something. I don't know if this was a wildcat formation or something, but why'd you put Chris Olave at quarterback for one play? He threw one goddamn pass and he threw an interception.
Off is a direction you can fuck.
That's whoever decided to put Chris Olave taking the snap and trying to throw a touchdown pass. And what does he do? Throw an interception. Matter of fact, that's where I would just blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
I'd at least put Tyler Shuck in that play, not Chris Olave. Get back.
Get back!
Get back!
Get back in the – go line up and go catch the ball. You don't need to play quarterback ever again, Olave. Don't ever rely on Ohio State people like I said with C.J. Stroud. But I ain't going to shit talk C.J. Stroud this week. He actually played fantastic. What else? Alvin Kamara led in rushing. He had 15 carries for 70 yards. Kendry Miller had 11 carries for 65 yards, and he had a touchdown for 18 yards. Rashid Shaheed led in receiving. He had 4 catches for 47 yards. Chris Olave, despite that interception thrown, he had 3 catches for 20 yards, and he did have 1 touchdown. Kool-Aid McKinstry led on the defense with 7 total tackles and 7 solo. Defense alone had 59 total tackles, 44 solo, 5 tackles for a loss, and 3 sacks, courtesy of Carl Granderson, Brian Brees, and Cameron Jordan. Next up, they got the New York Giants, who just got their first win of the season. They beat the Chargers 21-18. I will send my thoughts and prayers to Malik Neighbors. His season ended. He tore his ACL. So now I got to go find a new wide receiver in fantasy football. But this will be the 34th meeting with the Giants. Giants lead 17-16 against the Saints. Saints won 3 of the last 5 meetings. And this will be the 3rd straight consecutive year they're going to play the Giants in the regular season, and the 4th time this decade. Last time the Giants, they got a win over the Giants. No, I take that back. The last time the Giants beat the Saints was in 2021 in overtime. Now, when it comes to leaders for the Giants, I mean, yeah, they did make a quarterback change, but Russell Wilson still leads in passing for the Giants, 778 passing yards, 3 touchdown passes, and 3 interceptions. So, meanwhile, Jackson Dart, he got a little ways to go, where in his game with the Chargers, he went 13 for 20, 111 passing yards and 1 touchdown. And he also had 10 carries for 54 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. So that's not bad there. Cam Scatterbo, shout out to that man. He leads in rushing for the Giants, 23 carries for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns this season. Before his season ended, Malik Neighbors did lead in receiving. He had 16 catches for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. So if you got to go the next man up, I'd have to say Wan'Dale Robinson might be their next leading receiver, where in his game against the Chargers, he had 15 catches for 223 yards and 1 touchdown. Actually, that's what he had this season. Correction. Wan'Dale this season already has 15 catches for 223 yards and a touchdown. So it won't be long before he's the leading receiver this season for the Giants. Bobby Okereke at linebacker, he leads with 15 solo tackles, 19 assists, and 34 total tackles. And Drew Phillips, the cornerback, has 1 interception. He leads for the Giants. And plus, by the way, a little spoiler alert, we also got the return of Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau at practice. Now, there's no official word yet if they're going to play at tight end, because we've had Jawan Johnson at tight end. I don't know if they're going to make some changes right there, but that is some helpful players that can help us get in the win column, because I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. If the Saints do not beat the Giants, then it's time to hit the panic button. But with the season outcome, with the quarterback change in Jackson Dart, with the loss of Malik Neighbors out for the season and whatnot, and now that we got Foster Moreau back and Taysom Hill from injury, I feel like this is going to help the Saints get a win. So I'm going to go off a limb and say the Saints will get their first win of the season. They will beat the New York Giants. I'm going to say it'll be a close game. I'm going to say like a 23-17 win over the Giants. So that's all I got on the New Orleans Saints, but we're going to go ahead and finish the show with my college football recap and predictions. And man, let me tell you, week 5, this whole weekend alone, we've seen a lot of upsets, and it starts in college. By the way, that Friday, we saw 3 great college matchups, not just Houston beating Oregon State. Arizona State and TCU put a hell of a game. Virginia and Florida State went double overtime, and that was a hell of a finish. The Virginia fans rushing the field, holy shit, that was something. Big shout out to Virginia getting that win. Notre Dame beat Arkansas so bad Arkansas fired their head coach. What else happened? Ohio State doing what they do best against Washington. Auburn and Texas A&M was a hell of a game. A&M got the win. Tennessee and Mississippi State was almost a nail biter. I thought Mississippi State was going to pull it off, but Tennessee came back and got the win. Arizona and Iowa State doing what they do best, baby. The whiteout game at Penn State. This game went into overtime, and the Ducks fly out of Happy Valley, fly out of the whiteout with a W. Is it just me or Penn State's head coach always chokes in big games? Is this a Brian Kelly 2.0 like the haters are saying? I don't know. It can't be just me. There's got to be an explanation. There's got to be an explanation why James Franklin blows it in big-time games, just like he did in the playoffs last year against against Notre Dame. I don't know. But James Franklin's one of those guys, can't never win the big ones. They always compare him to Brian Kelly. Alabama and Georgia was not the way everyone wanted it to be. Alabama found a way and got a win. It was a struggle win. But everyone thought, I even thought Georgia was going to be a team to beat Alabama. Our only hope right now is it's Vandy. We hope Diego Pavia and them can strike again. Other than that, South Carolina, Kentucky, Lenore Sellers and them are shining bright again. And Coach Brown and Colorado are falling rock bottom yet again. So that's my recap of week 5. Let's go ahead and wrap this show up and do my week 6 predictions for college football. Let's start with this one. I think, I don't remember if this was a Thursday night or a Friday night game, but we got Western Kentucky and Delaware. Big time matchup right here. Hey, I'm gonna give it to Delaware. They're making this making it fun since they joined in the FBS level. But you know what? I'm gonna go with the Hilltoppers. I got Western Kentucky beating Delaware on the road in Delaware. Your Saturday slate, by the way, these college football predictions are presented by Rogue Energy, the #1 sports gaming drink in America. Go to rogueenergy.com or download the Rogue Energy mobile app and use that promo code OTG to get 10% off of your order. whether you're looking for energy, hydration, or chill, whether if you're streaming, podcasting, or video gaming, or just need to get through the day, Rogue Energy will do that for you. Like I said, the official sports gaming drink of On the Go and the number one in America. All right, moving on. Iowa State and Cincinnati. By the way, Kentucky, Georgia. Georgia's won 15 straight, and I think they make it 16 because Kentucky hasn't beaten Georgia since 2009. I'm going with Georgia. Iowa State and Cincinnati. Come on, baby. It's the Cyclones. My pick to win the Big 12 as of right now. Give me Iowa State over Cincinnati. By the way, Wisconsin and Michigan. This one's kind of a toss-up. In the last 6 meetings, they split it 3-3. But the fact that it's in the big house, I'm going to take Michigan. Then we got Air Force and Navy. This rivalry, 58th meeting overall. Air Force has won 6 of the last 10, but Navy is undefeated. Give me the midshipmen. I'm going with Navy. All eyes are going to be on this one. College game day is going to Tuscaloosa. It's Vanderbilt and Alabama. The 85th meeting. We knew we all saw what happened last year. Diego Pavia and the Commodores beat Alabama in Vandy. But Vandy hasn't won a game in Tuscaloosa, hasn't won a game at Bryant-Denny since 1984. For the love of God, we believe in Diego Pavia. It's going to be tough, but you know what? I got nothing to lose. I'm going to stay away from this game on FanDuel. I'm picking Vanderbilt by the heart. Fuck Alabama. Give me the Commodores. Anchors up. Diego, do it again, man. Make us happy. Beat Alabama again. Boise State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's on fire. No disrespect to Boise, but you're playing in South Bend. It's not even going to be close. Notre Dame's going to blow you out the water. Virginia and Louisville. Yeah, Virginia got their Cinderella win, but I don't see lightning strike twice. Give me Louisville over Virginia. Washington at Maryland. The Huskies are trying to bounce back after that loss to Ohio State. I think they go on the road and get the win in College Park. Give me the Huskies over Maryland. Michigan State and Nebraska. I feel like this will actually be a good game to see. They're playing it at Memorial in Lincoln. Give me the Cornhuskers. I got Nebraska beating Michigan State. Ohio State and Minnesota. They're playing in Columbus. Ohio State won the last 5 meetings. Make it 6 in a row. Give me Ohio State. Miami at Florida State. The Seminole War Canoe. 69th meeting. Something's going to give. This one is going to be actually people think Florida State could be on the alert to upset the Miami Hurricanes like they did with Alabama. But Miami is a really damn good football team. Where are they ranked right now? I want to say they're 3. By the way, here's the top 25 again for college football. Yeah, so here's the updated top 25. By the way, I'm picking Miami over Florida State. Number 1, Ohio State, 2, Oregon, 3, Miami, 4, Ole Miss, 5, Oklahoma, 6, Texas A&M, 7, Penn State, 8, Indiana, 9, Texas, 10, Alabama, 11, Texas Tech, 12, Georgia, 13, LSU, 14, Iowa State, 15, Tennessee, 16, Vanderbilt, 17, Georgia Tech, 18, Florida State, 19, Missouri, 20, Michigan, 21, Notre Dame, 22, Illinois, 23, BYU, 24, Virginia, and 25, Arizona State. All right, Mississippi State at Texas A&M. A&M's won 3 of the last 5, and they are a very dangerous team to play at home. Give me the 12th man. Give me the Aggies. I'm going with A&M. Colorado at TCU. Colorado's been struggling, but I feel like they're going to play a tough game with the Horned Frogs, but it's at Amon G. Carter. Give me the Horned Frogs. I got TCU. Kansas and UCF. I'm going with an upset. I got the Jayhawks. I think the Jayhawks take down UCF at home. Give me the Jayhawks. And then finally, Duke and Cal. I don't have much to say here. I'm going to go with Duke on the road at Cal to beat the Golden Bears. Meanwhile, that's all I got for tonight's show. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Reminder, tune in tomorrow night. I got another stream. I'm going to preview the Texans and the Ravens. Myself and Matt Trigger. We're going to preview this game. We're going to recap Week 4 of the NFL and predict Week 5. Be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a fun show. And then lastly, little announcement. I'm just going to go ahead and say off a limb. You're going to see a different look tomorrow. You're going to see a different look for the entire month of October, because October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're going pink on this show. So this month, I'm going pink. If you know somebody, that's not just for the relatives and friends and family back at home for me, but if you know somebody who is a survivor, currently fighting breast cancer, or has lost someone to this horrific disease, I'm going pink for y'all. I'm going to represent y'all. We're going to fight. You're not going to fight alone. We're going to fight together to find a cure and get this one, beat breast cancer. So we're going pink for October. It's going to be a great month. Spooky season 2. I'm excited. But thank y'all again for tuning in. Be on the lookout tomorrow night again, 7:30 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube, Facebook, and X with Driving to the Top Productions. Great people, great content. Be sure to check out all those guys on Driving to the Top Productions. Subscribe to that YouTube channel. Follow them everywhere else. But with that being said, love, peace, I'm out. Catch y'all tomorrow night. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all in October.